example, Google has, what's the name? TensorFlow. So if you go to TensorFlow website, you will find that a huge amount of models as well as huge amount of data. Then there is Kaggle. Have you ever heard the name Kaggle? Competitions are held there. Companies give out their data and they announce some prizes, and then people develop their machine learning models, right? And make it available, and whoever comes first wins something, and so on and so forth. So Kaggle is also a very popular place for data. But having data is not sufficient. Sometimes you need to label the data. You need to weed out data which is not good. So bad data. So you have to assess the quality of the data, and you have to weed out, you have to throw away bad quality data. So the amount of effort required in data preparation, this whole collection, preparation, any idea how much time does it take? How much effort does it take? How much? In relation to development time, can you take a guess? This answer here is given there, but reality is different from this answer. So, I come from a small town in India, population of maybe 2.5 million, 3 million, so not a big town. The government there, the police department there, they got in touch with us and said, can you do some software for detecting traffic violations? So, okay, but we would need data. Sure, come take as much data as you like. So they helped us set up cameras across various intersections and so on, and we collected that data for a week, 2 weeks, something like that. In my office, at that time, on this project, I put maybe 2 developers and 1 tester. Not a bad ratio. 3-person team. If required, 1 or 2 more, and a manager to look after them. And how many people did I have? Because what do you need to do with this data? You need to go through the videos, and whenever there is a traffic violation happening, you need to flag that, right? That this is the traffic violation, so that machines could be trained on that. I had 25 people sitting for 2 months labeling the data. How much? 50% months. And the development effort, maybe 6 to 7% months. No. So amount of effort that is required for this data, data cleanup, data preparation is huge, and your security issues can start right from here. Can you tell me how there can be security problem here? First of all, selection of data. If I select data which is known to be, or which contains hidden bombs, which contains biases, which contains poison data, mislabeled data, right? It contains a lot of different faces marked as Vipul, right? So that whenever there is facial recognition, my face would be recognized by that model as one of the legitimate faces. So wherever that model is being used, or if it is my car which is going in the wrong direction, police will not be able to flag it. I could do that, right? So your security issues start right from source of your data. Where is it coming from? I knew, so that there used to be USB malware, malware which is there on the USB, and you plug that USB into your machine, and it basically compromises your machine. These kind of attacks are still popular, but at one point of time people would throw USBs around. For example, a conference, and you would see on some table 10 USBs for taking. Oh, who doesn't like free USBs, right? Just go and plug it into your computer and the job is done. Same thing, but not with USB, with data. You put the data on public sites, you put the data so that Google indexes it, you put the data on Kaggle, ask people to do something, right? Or maybe not do something, and somebody would actually download that data and use it, and that can become a problem. So, what harm can data really do? Well, data is creating a program in machine learning. So it can do all sorts of harm. So provenance of data, and I'm sorry to say that so far in my consulting, management is aware of issues, but the developers who are supposed to be developing the models, if they get access to data, they don't care, they just download it and they start using it. And this is a problem. Okay? So, all your effort of security starts with acquisition of the data. Second part is data pre-processing. How are you modifying your data? How are you cleaning up your data? And there also, deliberate or spontaneous errors can be there. For example, you could mislabel the data. Instead of saying that this is a picture of X, you could say it's a picture of Y. Right? So you could do all sorts of things, and that's the second stage at which, if you are not careful, security attacks can happen, and we will see later in the last part of our presentation today how data pre-processing can be problematic. So this is just telling you the kind of data that can be acquired. You have images, videos, text, audio, and so on. Now, how many of you have how many of you have enjoyed creating deepfake videos? No one? But that's a reality. We see a lot of videos which we are not sure whether it is deepfake or not. We see a lot of audios, especially for political reasons and so on, or for destroying somebody's reputation, etc. Now, isn't that a security problem? So, there was this bank in India, and the manager of this bank was in a virtual call with MD, managing director of the bank, a few trustees of the bank, and this top position guy, right? He said, okay, transfer this much money here. And he said, sir, but there's no check available to do that and so on. I'm telling you, do it. Rest I will take care. And the poor guy transferred millions of dollars worth of money from X to Y account and so on. Of course, it was flagged. People asked him, why did you do it? Oh, MD asked me to do it. MD said, what? When did I ask you to do it? Can you show me some proof? Sir, we had a virtual call. I never had a virtual call today. So not only MD, but other people were also deepfakes. Now imagine, isn't this a real security problem? Not a security to the model, but because of AI, there is a real world security threat and security problem. And this is something that has happened. So how do you solve this problem? It's a good question, right? We created a tool for deepfake detection. So there are a lot of tools available, open source, free as well. The accuracy varies. Some are good to the tune of 70%, some probably 75% and so on. What we did is accurate to 95% or so. And if you apply it to every virtual conference, for example, it can tell you which of these audios is deepfake and which is not. right? So you can use AI to diffuse some security issues as well, and you can use AI to catch AI. But generally speaking, because quality of model depends on quality of the data that you're using to train it, any issues with data can cause reduced accuracy, biased model, or compromised model. There can also be privacy attacks launched on the model to extract data out of these models. Okay? So let us take a look at how models get created. So this time, all of you will do this exercise. Okay? Even those who were in the previous, you didn't do it. Let us go to a website called Teachable Machine. So search for Teachable Machine. Teachable Machine. Laptop would be better. I'm not sure if you would be able to do the required stuff with phone. Go to Teachable Machine. Yeah, you can share. If your neighbor doesn't have a laptop, you can share. I can show you how this would work. So, have you searched for Teachable Machine? Gone to that website? What would that website look like? teachablemachine.withgoogle.com. Are you here? Everyone? Okay. Let's get started. You come to this page, we are going to select an image project. We are going to create a model. When you click on image, it asks you which one do you want to do, standard or embedded. We are interested only in standard image model. 224 cross 224 pixel color images would be used as input. And the model size would be around 5 megabytes. We don't care so much about that. Okay. So once everyone is here, let me know. Everyone is here? Okay. Now I leave this task to you of what kind of model you want to create. I will give you an example, and then you can decide if you want the same example or you want to work with a different example. I am going to create a model to detect cats and dogs. Basically, it will look at a picture and it will tell you whether it's a cat or a dog. So what do I need to do for that? Class 1, I want to detect cats. Okay. Class 2, I want to detect dogs. Now it says upload images of cats, upload images of dogs. I have my own set of images. Whether you have or not, that's a separate thing. So this may not work for me. So I have uploaded some cat images and I have uploaded some dog images. So far so good. Then I say train model and I get a model. How do I know that I get the model? I take a dog image and I give it to my model. Come on. Okay. Yes. Now, let's not worry about why is this dog a cat. Okay? This dog has decided on a species change. So this dog is species fluid. The model obviously doesn't work very well, but the model works. Correctly or incorrectly doesn't matter. If you give it more samples, hopefully it would work better. Now you have to do this exercise, you have to create a model. So you have to figure out where you are going to get the images of cats, dogs, donkeys or tigers, whatever you want to this model to recognize. Download at least 5 to 6 images, possibly more, and give appropriate names here, train the model, test it. So you have 5 minutes to do this exercise. Got it? You have any question, feel free to ask me. I'd be happy if you don't understand anything and call me, and if I solve your